Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading to Vietnam, guided by your ultimate guide to exploring Vietnam. It sounds like a place that really hits all the senses.
It definitely does.
Our goal here is, well, to pull out the really essential stuff. The need-to-knows if you're thinking, even just a little, about visiting.
Yeah, not just a checklist of places. Right. More like, what's the feel of the place?
Exactly. How do you actually experience the culture, the history, the sheer beauty of it all?
And what strikes me right away from this guide is that mix it describes, ancient traditions living right alongside all this modern development. And the landscapes, mountains, beaches, it really hints at a lot of variety for travelers.
Okay, let's tackle the big question first. Why Vietnam? What's the hook?
Well, the guide really pushes the diversity angle. Think lush rice terraces, then peaceful beaches, vibrant cities.
And historical sites, too.
Oh, yeah. UNESCO World Heritage sites scattered throughout. It paints a picture where, honestly, almost any kind of traveler could find something. Adventurers, families, history buffs.
And importantly, the guide mentions it's pre-budget friendly. That's a big deal.
Huge deal. It means it's not just for luxury trips. Solo backpackers, families watching the budget, maybe even honeymooners who want something amazing but, affordable.
Right. That affordability really opens doors, doesn't it? Makes incredible experiences accessible.
Absolutely. You get so much cultural and natural bang for your buck, basically.
All right, let's dive into some of these places the guide focuses on, starting with Hanoi, the capital. What's the essence of Hanoi for a visitor? Based on this?
Hanoi, the guide suggests it's got this really interesting dual personality. You've got the old quarter, ancient maze-like streets.
Right, I can picture that.
But then you've also got the buzz of a modern capital city right next door. It creates this unique energy, the guide says, like sipping coffee overlooking a really old temple.
That contrast sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
What about specific spots?
Key places mentioned are Hoan Kiem Lake, the Temple of Literature, which gives insight into Vietnam's scholarly past, the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, of course, and Westlake for something a bit more relaxed. It shows that range.
The guide brings up water puppet shows, too. Are they just tourist things, or is there more to it?
Well, according to this, they're actually deeply rooted in folklore and farming life, originally performed in rice paddies, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so the stories often show rural life, legends. It's a real window into the culture, and naturally, the guide says you have to try the pho and street food.
Oh, absolutely. That's non-negotiable, right? It's about the taste, the smells, connecting with local life.
Totally. It's a full sensory experience.
Okay, next up, Ha Long Bay, the famous one, UNESCO site. What's the key takeaway for experiencing it?
Ha Long Bay is really all about the visual spectacle. Those thousands of limestone karsts jutting out of the emerald water. It's just breathtaking.
It looks incredible in photos.
Yeah, and the guide mentions different ways to see it. You can do an overnight cruise, which sounds amazing, waking up right there, or get more active, like kayaking.
Kayaking seems like you could get really close to the formations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or even a seaplane for a completely different view from above. It also mentions exploring caves, like Sing Sot Cave, hidden within the islands. It's about immersing yourself in that landscape.
Definitely a must-see. Okay, let's move south a bit to Hoi An, the ancient town. What's its special charm?
Hoi An, it sounds like stepping back in time, but in a really lovely way. A preserved 15th century trading port. You can apparently feel that history.
How so?
The mix of architecture, the atmosphere. The guide emphasizes the lantern-lit streets at night, the riverside cafes. It sounds incredibly atmospheric, almost magical.
The lanterns are iconic.
They are, and it mentions the tailor shops, too, getting clothes made. That connects back to its trading past, the craftsmanship, a unique souvenir, I guess.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
What else stands out in Hoi An?
The Japanese covered bridge is a key landmark, and the Hoi An night market sounds like a lively experience. But it also suggests things like cooking classes.
Getting hands-on. Is that worthwhile?
I think so. The guide implies it's about connecting deeper. A cooking class isn't just recipes, it's understanding ingredients, local food culture. Same with cycling through the rice paddies, seeing rural life up close.
Makes sense, going beyond just sightseeing. Okay, next stop. Da Nang. What's the vibe there?
Da Nang seems to offer a mix of city energy and beach relaxation. You've got Mai Kay Beach, which sounds beautiful, but also the Marble Mountains nearby.
And it's quite central, right?
Yeah, the guide highlights its location, good base for day trips to Hoi An or even Hue. And it has its own big sites now, too, like the Golden Bridge at Bana Hills.
Oh, the Ham Bridge, yes.
That's the one. Plus the Dragon Bridge in the city and the Marble Mountains themselves, which have temples inside the caves. It's a blend of modern attractions and natural cultural sites.
Sounds like a good hub. Then there's Hue, the old imperial capital. Heavy on history, I imagine.
Definitely. The guide positions Hue as the place for history buffs. The Imperial Citadel is the big one, the old seat of the emperors.
Wow.
And Tianmu Pagoda, a really significant religious site, plus the tombs of the emperors dotted around. Exploring these gives you a real sense of Vietnam's royal past.
Out best to see it all.
The guide suggests a boat trip on the Perfume River. Sounds like a nice, serene way to connect the historical dots and just soak in the atmosphere.
Lovely. Okay, let's jump to the south. Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon? What's the feel there?
High energy. Very different from Hue. The guide presents it as the bustling economic center. You see the French colonial buildings mixed right in with, modern skyscrapers.
A city of contrast, then.
Absolutely. Key places mentioned reflect that. The War Remnants Museum, sobering, but important for understanding recent history. Den Then Market for that chaotic, vibrant market experience.
Right.
The Notre Dame Cathedral, a reminder of the colonial era. And then the Cu Chi Tunnels just outside the city. An incredible look at wartime resilience. It's intense but fascinating.
The tunnels are definitely impactful. Okay, swinging back north now to Sapa. Mountains, rice terraces. What's the main appeal?
Sapa is your mountain escape, according to the guide. It's all about those incredible terraced rice fields carved into the hillsides. Stunning scenery.
And interacting with local culture.
Yes. Big focus on that. Opportunities for trekking through villages of different ethnic minority groups. It's about experiencing their way of life, maybe even doing a homestay.
Some more for the adventurous traveler.
Seems like it. Trekking, possibly climbing Fansipan, the highest peak it leans towards outdoor and cultural immersion.
Got it. And finally, island time. Phu Quoc. What does the guide say about it?
Phu Quoc is pitched as the tropical paradise. White sandy beaches, clear blue water, resorts. Your classic island getaway.
Those beaches, or is there more?
More than just beaches. The guide mentions coral reefs for snorkeling and diving. There's Phu Quoc National Park for nature walks. Even theme parks like Vin Wonders and Vin Safari, plus a night market famous for seafood.
So relaxation, but also stuff to do.
Exactly. A good balance, it seems. Perfect for unwinding after maybe a busier mainland trip.
Okay, that covers the main spots. Now, a super practical point. When's the best time to actually go? Vietnam's long climates must vary.
They do, and the guide breaks it down nicely by region, which is helpful. For the North Hanoi, Sapa spring, March, May, and autumn, Sep-November, are apparently best. Pleasant weather.
Okay.
Central Vietnam, Hoi An. Hue is best February to August, avoiding the rainier season later.
And the south.
South, like Ho Chi Minh City and Phu Quoc, the dry season is December to April. So you really need to think about where you're going when planning when.
That regional breakdown is crucial. Avoids showing up in monsoon season. All right, essential tips. What practical advice does the guide offer?
Covers the basics. Currency is the Vietnamese dong, VND. English is widely spoken in tourist spots, which is reassuring.
Good to know. Visas.
Mentions the e-visa system, available for many nationalities now. That simplifies things a lot.
Definitely. How about getting around?
Options are there. Domestic flights for long hops, buses and trains are common, and the Grab app like Uber is popular in cities for getting around easily.
And safety. Any warnings?
The guide says Vietnam is generally very safe for tourists, but like anywhere, it advises being aware of common scams, just standard travel smarts, really.
Sensible advice. Now, the guide itself, your ultimate guide to exploring Vietnam, is linked with FlightNHotels.com. How does the guide position that platform for planning?
It presents FlightNHotels.com as basically a one-stop shop, a tool to make booking everything, flights, hotels, even car rentals or package deals, much easier.
So convenience is the main thing.
Convenience and potentially finding good deals by comparing options easily. Secure booking, customer support. It's framed as simplifying the whole process, whether you're traveling solo or in a group.
Okay. Does it get specific about the advantages, like for flights or hotels?
Yeah, for flights, it talks about comparing different airlines, times, layovers, finding the best fit. For hotels, it mentions a wide selection from budget to luxury, with reviews to help you choose.
And transport within the country.
Mentions car rentals if you want to self-drive, or booking transfers like airport pickups, making arrival smoother. The idea is having all these pieces in one place saves time and maybe hassle.
The guide even includes a sample 7-day itinerary. Can you quickly sketch that out? And how does the platform fit in?
Sure, the sample itinerary gives a whirlwind tour. Starts in Hanoi, includes Ha Long Bay, then flies down to Da Nang for the beach and Marble Mountains.
Then Hoi An.
Yep, then Hoi An's charm, moving on to Hugh's history, and finishing in Ho Chi Minh City with the tunnels and market. It packs a lot in.
Wow, that's ambitious for a week.
It is, but it shows the diversity. And crucially, the guide explicitly says you can book all the flights, hotels, maybe even some transport for this specific itinerary through FlightNHotels.com.
So it demonstrates how the tool works in practice.
Exactly. Makes it tangible. Turns the dream trip into, actual bookable components, maybe even with discounts bundled together.
So it's not just inspiration. It helps bridge the gap to actually planning it.
Precisely. It connects the what with the how.
Well, this has been incredibly thorough. A real deep dive into what Vietnam offers, all filtered through this guide. It really paints a picture of a incredibly diverse country.
Absolutely. The guide does a great job showing it's more than just sights. It's culture, contrasts, energy. Something that seems to stick with you.
Definitely leaves you thinking. As you listen to this, maybe ask yourself, what pulls you more? Is it the buzz of the cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, or the quieter beauty of Ha Long Bay or Sapa's Mountains?
Or maybe it inspires you to think beyond the main highlights. What hidden corners or local stories might you want to find? It seems like Vietnam has layers to uncover.
Indeed. Hopefully this dive gives you a solid starting point for your own exploration.